Hi everyone, it's Alex from Mentoring Effect, and I have John Hardy with me today from a big consultancy. And I would like to ask him a few questions because he's very successful in his business, and he has a huge YouTube channel and has a lot of knowledge and skills he has over the years of working as a coach and mentor. I will probably let him to speak about that more because I guess he has some things that he can pick up from his life. Hi, John. Welcome to our interview.
Yeah, hi Alex. It's great to be with you. This is quite a fun way to do it now, rather than being in the studio. We've actually turned our offices into studios, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's actually great because you don't need to travel anywhere, and exactly you don't need to be in that kind of environment. And Zoom, Skype, and a few different platforms are doing great job, and the sound and I guess it looks okay. Also, the video looks okay. That means it's a little bit changed for
Absolutely.
everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would like you to, I'm really happy and appreciate that you come and join us. And I would like to give you some space to tell us some highlights from your life, something from your life, from your business, something about you.
Well, I've been in business now for 20 years doing big consultancy. And it was one of those moments in time where I actually hit the wall and needed to ask the question, what do I do next? And so my wife and I, we actually went away for a weekend to kind of do a discovery weekend together, time together, and think together. And we kind of did one of those kind of SWOT analyses, positive, negatives, scaling things, all that kind of stuff. And it ended up that of all the things that we thought about, that for me to sit in this coaching space would actually work. And so we said, okay, let's do that. Let's get the training and let's launch that. So that was in November of 2000, I think it was.
Wow.
Went online, got my ABN, registered my name. And come January, the fascinating thing was I started to get, holidays for me is January, finish kind of work, but people began to ring me in January, and I had no idea. They had no idea what I was now doing. And come the end of the month, I had some really cool gigs. So I picked up one gig to actually bring a business back to the mainstream. It kind of drifted a little bit, and they asked me to come in as the acting CEO and do the change management process. I worked with an organization that lost its leader, and they picked me up for 18 months to actually be the leader of the organization and work with them as they reposition themselves. So it was really fun to do. And I picked up a couple of other strategic dynamics with some businesses to work internally within them as a support team member and write their processes. And it was interesting doing some of those things that you actually began to realize what you were good at and what you weren't good at. Because, like any of us, we, whatever comes our way, we'll have a go at. And I began to realize, where my strengths lay. And I discovered in that process that networking was a powerful way to market my business. And so I joined a number of networking groups, as well as undergoing coach training to actually be a professional coach.
Yeah.
And so did my training, and then our process is you're coached as you coach. And it was really, really good. So
such a great, amazing start.
Yeah. So that was fun. And, when you look at what you do, one of the dynamics of where our energies lie is I love coaching. And so after a session, I'm buzzing with the opportunity to work with somebody and help them discover. So I've just actually come off a coaching call with one of my clients and resonated and he said, yeah, John, I need that help. So he's got a little project to do in the next 2 weeks, which we will then work on in that ongoing conversation. So I just love that, and
Yeah,
the creativity that comes out in those conversations. Because
yeah,
I'm asking, I was watching myself, asking myself a question: what is really important for my client right now to help him? And having those insights and saying, I'm thinking this could really work, and he said, "Oh, that will be a great help to me," is
yeah.
just so satisfying.
Yeah, I guess that's the great thing and amazing thing on coaching, because I love what you said, that you love coaching. And I guess for me it's as well because we are growing with the client. Like basically we learn from client as well. They didn't even realize that, but we always learn from other person.
Yeah,
And I think that that growth within the coaching, that means you coach someone but you still grow so much. I think
absolutely.
that's
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
Yeah, it's amazing industry. And it's sometimes said that is still kind of um underestimate, or maybe just, yeah, people don't really realize how great it is to have mentor and coach, just to have someone who will take your hand and guide you through the process. And you can actually, probably it's like a shortcut, in business. Like I guess it's really good. Did you have your coach when you started your business?
Oh yeah, I had a coach, and I've had two or three coaches over my time, because I don't want to. I don't want just to, in a sense, preach something and not practice it. And I've really valued having time. And I've got a couple of people I ring who are coaches. And when I get stuck, or I'm, having the blues, sometimes we all have the blues, and just go and talking with them, talking through, just to sound out some ideas,
Yeah,
just so incredibly beneficial. And I'm also part of a national coaching organization, a group
yeah,
of peers, and we meet once a month to talk about what's going on in our world, where we're going, and also how we might work collaboratively together. And we share concepts and ideas with each other. So it's a learning environment
yes,
as well, which is really, really cool. So, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I have coaches who impact me.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like I'm in community of coaches probably just last 5 years, but it's amazing. Like you see other people what they are doing, you get ideas, and also just to be sure you practicing
Yes.
everything the correct way, because we're still learning and there are still new things coming. That means coach 20 years ago will probably a little bit different, to today. And they're different practicing in business and stuff. That means, yeah, that's great. I really love to see actually when coaches say they have coaches, because sometimes that's not the case.
Correct.
Um,
Mm.
it's really a long career already for you. It's really a long time that you're doing the and working in this industry. What was probably the biggest, because I think that's very important for all of us who are actually doing some kind of consultancy work and you're working with clients directly. What was the probably like a biggest obstacle or maybe down in your business? I will ask for ups as well, but I'm just curious.
To be truthful, Alex, I really haven't had a downturn in my business at all.
That's really
Um,
nice to see.
it's been consistently strong, um, right through the whole 20 years, and it's as strong today as it was, for quite a number of years. So it's the early years that probably were, in a sense, if I compare it to now, as a downtime. But that's part of growing
Yeah.
your client base and growing your ability. So in the early, I think the first 2 years, I got out after work, after people had closed, and my wife and I, we went and cleaned offices. So that was probably the only serious downturn that I faced. I've had a very strong business with a strong client base all the way through. And I've got clients with me now that have been with me 10 years, 8 years, 7 years. And I love that.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So I really haven't had a downturn. I've had a
Yeah.
constant, really good flow of opportunities to work with people, for me, in all
Yeah.
sorts of industries. So as you know, some coaches specialize in areas.
Yes.
I specialize in being a coach holistically across business and across life.
Yeah, I know that's a lot of stuff around niching and ideal clients. And yeah, I agree. We should probably, because your knowledge, I guess, is all around business, all business areas plus mindset. And I guess sometimes the niche is probably not the best thing when like people doing that, like we try to focus on just one type of client. If you like, your business sounds like a dream for everyone, because I think that's something that we all want, just to have like really not big, downs, and just really kind of have strong business and build strong business. Then I guess everybody will agree when I will ask you, like, you need to give us some magic sauce for that, some probably steps.
Um, no,
How
it's
did you do that?
it's what Thomas Edison said. It's 95% perspiration and 5% inspiration. You have to work hard. And so I've worked hard with my clients, but also I've worked hard on building a good reputation in the industry here in Western Australia. So that's where I kind of hang out. But I've coached across Australia and internationally,
Yes.
particularly into Southeast Asia. I've just worked hard on a constant basis. And in this moment, I'm actually doing some very distinctive training. That's the other thing that I've also done. I've constantly done PDs. I've gone to coaching courses. I've gone to training opportunities. I've gone to look to continually develop myself. So I've worked hard and I've trained up.
Thank you. That's really important. That's really, really important. I think that's actually really great what you said, that you're actually investing to personal development, to coaching trainings, to different trainings, because there are profiling trainings. There's still a lot of things that are changing, and we need to be updated. I would say we should have all that knowledge first, And
the reality is, Alex, if we're not learning, we're not growing.
Yes, I agree. I said when you stop to learn, you die, because that's for me. Like when I stop to learn, I probably wouldn't be here, because that's only what is really keeping me alive and motivated and inspired. I just need to grow and learn something new. But anyway, I still want to know more about that. Okay, like maybe that what people will be really interested in, I guess, that will be how did you get your first clients? Because you said you basically build a really strong base, really strong business. And I know it's definitely your knowledge, your energy you put in, and ongoing work, and probably long hours. But probably, like, what did you do at long hours? Probably something, if you can let us know, tell us something about how did you get your clients? Where are you going to look for them?
So for me, being in multiple creative networking environments, both online and offline, really worked. But in the midst of that, building relationships. So my philosophy is, if I meet somebody, they could potentially be a client, but I am really interested in meeting people. And so when I meet people, I want to be interested in them.
Yes.
I just love meeting people and finding out about who they are and what they do, and just love building those relationships. And so some of those conversations then, of course, either turn into clients or actually turn into doors that get open for you. Because if you're interested and interesting, people introduce you to those around and about them and say, well, I met this guy who does this, and he could be of value to you. But again, just going back to the hard work of networking, and in those environments, being interested in people. But also, I think sometimes what people find is nobody ever asks them a question about themselves. And when you do that, the power of that is quite amazing, because they tell you everything. And then that leads to a very simple point, that you actually have to do this. It's called ASK.
I love that. I think it's very important.
Actually ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so funny, because I met so many people on networking events, and like you've been there as well. There are a few networking groups where we actually met as well. And it's so funny how, like, some people just come to you and give you a business card and just talk about themselves, and you see and you feel there is no interest at all into you as a even friend or person or individual. And for me, that's like, I'm taking the business card and put it into rubbish bin. I will be very honest, because it's, for me, it's, there is no human touch, you know. That's nothing. I don't want to have that kind of clients. I don't want to have that kind, I don't want to be client of that kind of person. And it's really good what you said, because I think that's most important, especially now in this crisis. People need human, I will say, touch and some feel connection.
Correct.
And when we are not getting that, and people have these conversations just business wise, but not totally not interested into you, how they can even work with you, because we are still human, even if it's that digital marketing.
And it's interesting, even in the sales industry, Alex, 83% of salespeople who are in selling fail to ask for business. And so,
I know.
I'm confident, so that if I can see where you're at and what's going on, I can make some suggestions and then say, okay, how do you think that could work for you? You have to be brave enough to actually ask that question. And not everybody says yes. So the other thing you've got to be comfortable with is no.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I'm honest here. I don't like it. You know, I feel rejected and what's wrong with me? What have I done? What's wrong with you? Why don't you like me? I'm brilliant. But learning to be comfortable with no, and allow the emotions of no to be there, but eventually just wash them off. And sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes it takes a day.
Yeah.
No is going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
And being comfortable with that. So there's those two dynamics. A lot of people really are not brave enough in both of those areas. Brave enough to ask, and brave enough to let somebody say to them no. And then the emotional skills on how to deal with both. I've learned to deal with. And I did this because one of my colleagues who's been in business, I told him what I was doing, and he said to me this, John, he said, for me to get one sale, I have to have 100 people interested in buying my product, and it happened to be a franchise business, who were 100 people who were interested in buying, not just interested, to get one sale. And so he had to be used to the fact that either they were going to say, or he was going to say to 99 people, no.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's the reality of life, that not everybody is actually going to be the right person for you, and you are not going to be the right person for them.
Yeah.
In whatever context, and yes, as a business coach or a consultant mentor that I do, and whatever context, whatever widget we're selling, not everybody is there's not the right relationship with everybody. And there is enough bodies around us and enough businesses around us for us to actually live good lives.
Yeah. And exactly that's the point. Like there are things, even like bad timing, like you probably you can be even right person for other person or client, but it's just not the right timing. I actually experienced that with myself as well, because I was interested into school I was studying, and I was interested for 1 year. I didn't say yes for 1 year because that was not the right time and I didn't feel it. But there was one day that I made a decision. I said, you know what, I'm going to call them back because now I want that. I mean, some people, they just need some time, and also it's the personalities. But okay, that means, just to wrap up that, it's basically, you said networking, most important thing, and asking questions and be prepared for no. That means, I guess that's the biggest advice what we should all do if you want to get clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got to be brave enough to understand what mediums actually work for you. And so testing mediums that you resonate with. Because not everybody resonates with networking. So, and today, we are so blessed with the multiple opportunities of channels, media channels that are available to us. And I'm not just thinking social media or networking. It's understanding and testing those. And I've done that on a regular basis with my clients to find the best medium by which that business will work.
Yeah.
And like one of my clients, his medium is his historic ability in the industry, his reputation as a person makes him a standout person to actually do business with. And so he's been in the business world long enough. People know, like, and trust him. And hey, yes, please, can we do business with you? You know, people like to do business who they like. And no matter how much we do talk about money, we buy off emotion. If we like, or we're moved, or we feel it's good, you know, we are just human beings, and all of us like to do things that we feel good about.
Yes.
And letting people feel good about their decisions is really powerful to do. And like you're saying, because of that, it can take some time for that to actually happen. And I've done that with clients where sometimes I've walked into a room and I've walked out the contract. Sometimes it's taken 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
And that's fun, you know. Hey.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And enjoy the process. I always say, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's another thing that changed a lot. Probably you even know because you're a long time in business. And when I'm thinking even about my business before, like I started 16, 17 years ago, and there was just a few companies. It was so much easy to get clients because your reputation was, quickly up because there were 5 event companies, 5 catering companies, 10 consultants, and that was all. But because we all grow and more and more people want to have their own business, there's so many sole traders or people they're working for themselves and they're giving advice or they work as a consultants. I think because of that, people should understand that they can't. I don't want to say it's not possible because everything is possible, but I usually say don't expect to build strong and huge business in 1 week or 1 month because people told because probably that happened to you as well. The clients coming like, okay, how much do you want to earn? And they said, I want to earn 10,000 a month, and they straight away first answer. That's actually very usual answer, but they are making 2,000 or 1,000 or nothing. And I always ask the different, like, can you imagine how much work you need to put into 10,000 when you already feel you are busy now? And how are you dealing with that kind of clients? Do you have any KPIs that you set up and you try to show them on the numbers? Like you have to have 20 sales calls or
yeah. You have to do diagnostics on numbers. And one of the fun dynamics is in kind of like in the real estate or in the mortgage business. In there, it really is all about how many calls you make, how many appointments that you make, how many interests that you gather, and then how many sales that you close. And I've worked with both real estate and mortgage people, and they're fun. And if they get into that rhythm, they are successful. But people aren't prepared to do the 50 calls a week.
Exactly.
I
absolutely agree.
And if you're not prepared to do it, you won't get the turnover that you would like. And that happens in lots of industries. And I have my own Excel spreadsheet for my business. I do my diagnostics about where I get my clients from. And I understand what works for me. And I know what I need to do. And I set myself objectives of what I want to do, know, and be a part of. And then I'm comfortable. I can work as hard as I want to work and turn over as the hours that I want to put in. That's dependent upon me. And so because I've done that, I've given myself space to actually be involved in other projects. So I've done quite a bit of not-for-profit work. And because most of the time not-for-profits, particularly on boards, they don't have capacity to pay board members. And I've had a lot of fun in that space as a director in those spaces. And I've done that for 15 years, and it is great fun. And again, it's an environment by which you grow as a person and as a leader, and you get to influence organizations. So when you're in a place you've grown your business, you actually give yourself freedom to choose what you actually want to do with your life.
Yes, that's well said. I will have a few questions around, like, the questions we always want to know from people. They achieve some results in a business, and probably what success means to you.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good question. I probably more use words like significance and legacy, which potentially creates inheritance opportunities, not only for the business, but the whole dynamic of succession planning for a business or for a family or for future. And so um, I do work with, I use this model, very simple, for businesses. If you have a 1% increase in your turnover, decrease your cost of sales by 1%, and decrease your expenses by 1%, you will get a 16 to 21% increase in profitability without doing anything much more than what you're doing right now. And it's a very simple metric to actually apply to a business straight away. The dynamic of understanding contracts. Many times businesses have got contracts that they've never spent any time renegotiating. And there's always deals to be done, always better dynamics in that space. So I love that space, and I love helping business set up metrics. But I have the conversation about what are the best metrics for you, not just turnout metrics. And so people often say, well, how do you measure that? Well, let's just start off with a basic Excel spreadsheet. Excel is brilliant.
Yeah.
And let's build out what we want. And as the months progress, you can add in other dynamics into that you would like to measure. But let's start off with some of the basic measures, etc., and show them. And when they start to see the dynamics of that, reports, metrics, I love them because it creates pictures in people's minds of where you are, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, or it's going gangbusters. And it shows them potential of what can be done.
Yes.
And showing them the potential of the future. So creating that significance and that legacy. So it's not just now, everything
exactly.
now, but it's helping them see, the 5 and 10 year view, and showing them the power of what impact they actually can make is a whole bunch of fun.
I really love this conversation because I really love measure and evaluate, because I think that's so important. And people are just looking at me when I'm saying, like, look, I'm actually preparing my plan for day, like night before, just to be sure I know what I'm going to do, how many people I have to call, and how many meetings I have to have. Now I can have a little bit more meetings because it's online. And if I don't do that, I know I don't have any results from the day. And the people don't have systems. And I read, that's why I really love when actually you're talking about numbers and measurements, because it's like, I did 10 phone calls and I had one client. I can make 20 phone calls and maybe I can have 2 clients a day. And you can see, and maybe I can have one more person to call and do calls with me, and I can scale. I can have maybe 4 people call and I will have 5, 6 clients and I can pay them. And that thinking is just, and that thinking is amazing, because when you scale your business, you actually help economy, you help everyone, you help people to get money. And the thing is, when you love what you do, that means that's great, because when you love what you do, you need to scale that, because there is the passion behind. And I really love your passion about your business and coaching. And I have one fun question. Who is your superhero?
Well, mine is Spider-Man.
Why is that? I love that.
I've always liked Spider-Man, but when you think about what he can actually do, he does the abnormal exceptionally well. I'm not sure it's the red costume, but it's the creativity around Spider-Man, the ability to swing and change things, and he comes in from different angles and disrupts the world. So Spider-Man is my superhero, always. So. But the other thing I love is an animal, and I actually collect elephants, because elephants are an amazing animal that stand the test of time and socially are amazingly caring for each other. Amazing animal. So the elephant is my animal, and I have I swing it around.
I love that. I love that because my mom is actually collecting
Yes.
elephants because there is a saying like they are for good luck. That means always when we travel together, we always bought elephants
Oh
from
yes,
every country. Yeah,
same here.
yeah, it's
I've
amazing. Yeah,
all over the world, and I try to collect them with different materials as well. So I've got
oh, that's great.
all sorts of materials that elephants are made in, and yes, so that's my other bent, which is a whole bunch of
Yeah, great. Thank you for that. And I will have one last question for our audience, and it will be probably a little bit more about these times because I know a lot of businesses struggle, a lot not. A lot of people grow and actually scale and innovate. Do you have any like one or two advice or anything what you would like to tell people right now?
yeah. In we are in, and this is going to date us as the years roll by, but we are in COVID-19 season. And I've actually been engaged to do some COVID-19 thinking with some key economic people in
Hmm.
my region, which is a lot of fun. But what we've found is there is an amazing resilience amongst business people. And I'm loving what I'm seeing people do in business. And I think that's why they get into business in the first place, because
Yeah.
they have this amazing internal resilience. And, there was an old advert from many years ago in Australia. I think it was a paint advert, and it was about keeping on, keeping on. When you paint it, it's just going to stay there. And I think that's what business people are like. And I think if we, in this moment in time, allow our resilience to rise, that it will actually help us renew us and strengthen us, refresh us, revitalize us, and enable us to not only go through this season, do it well, but actually come out ready to, in a sense, kind of rock and roll with the new opportunities that are going to be in front of us that we never imagined. You know, I will be doing a lot more work online because I've been very comfortable, and this has kind of disrupted my comfort. And I've had to rethink. I said, okay, I love this. I can do this. So why not do it? Okay. So I'm going to be doing that much more
Yeah.
and bringing my skills and resources, in a sense, to the world. And so I think it's challenging us to be innovative and creative. And, and I've been saying this quite a lot, it really is a carpe diem moment to seize the day. And it is an opportune time for us to rethink, be disruptive, and look at the way we can lead people out. And that's what I like most about the season, and what I've observed in many leaders that are around my world.
Yeah. That's beautiful message. Thank you very much. Yeah, I absolutely agree. We actually a lot of people growing a lot and changing and innovating, and it's amazing when you see on like shops, or like everybody adjusted already, and
Absolutely.
and it's amazing to see they don't give up because a lot of people gave up, and I just felt so sad because there was like no, there is an option. There's an
Mm-hmm.
option to grow,
Yeah.
and yeah, your message was beautiful. Thank you very much for that, for sharing that. And thank you very much for your time. And I will share contact details
Yeah.
on um, in our description. That means
Brilliant.
people can join you or find you somewhere where they
Yeah.
want. They can connect with
Absolutely.
you. Thank you very much, and I
It's
will see
lovely to
you
share with
soon.
you and to share this with the world, because I think, Alex, we do have the opportunity to help people live in this season, and I love doing that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John. It's a
Cheers. Bye
pleasure.
bye.
Bye.